Hello friends and welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks, and today I'm going to talk about a very interesting point that has come up after the government has announced the stimulus package. So let's understand what is the package all about in a short period or in a short span, and whether this will keep the market going up or will the market stay low even after the stimulus package. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation, and people taking any position into any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I start with analysis of the stimulus package and what it will do for the market, here's a small request that kindly support me on Patreon, and once you do that, I'll help you with market and company queries. That's one line answers, and these are not portfolio queries. And it starts from mere $2 and goes up to $10 a month. Once I have more than 200 patrons, I'll try to definitely start with an education course on YouTube. Also, you will get to access a lot of exclusive articles and videos before YouTube. So before YouTube gets it, the articles and the videos would be there on Patreon for you to see. And for detailed market analysis or company talk, kindly contact me on email and I'll help you with the analysis of market there. Now about the package or the mega package as it is called by different news channels today. This is a package, one of the most massive package announced, and is said to be the biggest in Indian economic history. And it is likened with the package that was announced by Manmohan Singh, the then finance minister in the 1991 government of PV Narasimha Rao, and that package was slightly different, and I'll talk about it later on. But this is another package that has come out, which was dearly weighted by the markets, and I'll discuss what the markets think of it, probably in my opinion. But first of all, about the package. So it is considered to be total of 10% of the GDP. The total package is around 20 lakh crore. This is infusion of money that will take place in many small medium enterprises, but with a twist. So you'll get money into the small medium enterprises directly, or there'll be benefits for people taking or companies taking loans. So there'll be slightly easier loans to take at easier, you can say, rates, and there could be even interest-free loans that could be given in some industries in that regard. But I'm not aware of that, but the interest could be extremely low, and the payment period or payback period for that loan could be longer. So these are the, you can say, some of the subsidies that has been given by the government. Economy always needed some fillip. Economy needed an oxygen to work on. It needed something to really hang on to, and this has come out, means it was needed for more. So this was really required, and it has come now. So people with low income going to get relief, because people who are getting less than 15,000 a month will get relief from government in one way or the other. And the corporates will get 2% reduction in EPF transfer. So whatever EPF that they were transferring, they'll get a relief of 2%. So rather than transferring 12%, they'll be transferring something like 10%. So that's a good enough reduction of around 15% on that 12%. So let's come to the details of this package. So is it really 20 lakh crore? That is the first question, because when Prime Minister Modi came out on like a couple of days back and talked about it at 8 p.m., his address to the nation, in that day he told that 20 lakh crore combines the measures already that has been announced. So I was looking at what are the measures that have been announced, and there are different numbers going around, but this is what I have come up with. So 1.7 lakh crore was announced for food and cash for the poor when this pandemic really hit India in March, and so it was around 1.7 lakh crore. And if you take into account that RBI interest rate cuts and RBI measures of you can say buying bonds, etc., that comes out to be around 6.5 lakh crore or so. The numbers could be just a few percentage point up and down, but around about 8.2 lakh crore has already been announced. That is my assessment. And just under 12 lakh crore is this package. So the package said to benefit laborers, etc. But this package is actually after 1.7 and 6.5 lakh crore that has already been done. This looks like a package that is more or less just under 12 lakh crore and rather than 20 lakh crore. The package will benefit laborers, medium and small enterprises. You can say mid cap companies, small and mid cap companies, cottage industry that has been in deep trouble. You can say the textile mills, etc., and small industries that are working in different fields, electronics, media, you can say factories, you can say machinery, manufacturing, automobile, etc. So all these kind of you can say unorganized sector would really needed the boost as getting it. So the government may look to help small companies set up factories to manufacture medical devices. So the companies that we are concerned with, let's look at them. So medical devices is one, electronics, telecom equipments, and capital goods. These are prima facie the industry that when I was looking at the fine print that I've come up with. Also, they are looking to help people with measures who earn less than 15,000 rupees a month. So the details again were not out, but it looks like that some transfer of money or some kind of relief would be given to those people who are earning 15,000 rupees or less per month. So this has come out as a very good fresh breath of air or fresh air to breathe on, because this is something that was needed by the lower middle income group or the poor people here in India. Now, companies which could benefit in this kind of a scenario. So, electronic manufacturers such as Dixon Technologies and Amber, probably Dixon Technology the most. So, we can look at that. Diagnostic companies which are making medical devices would also do well. So, not the diagnostic company that we know of like Dr. Lal or Thyrocare, but we are looking at medical devices manufacturing companies, and one I have talked about on many occasions, that Skill Pest India, but there are others also that you could look at. Also, I would think that property companies like Godrej Properties, Oberoi Realty, etc., would benefit, because laborers would get a lot of benefit out of this package. And one thing that I missed out in writing, that many of the real estate companies and the infrastructure companies would get around 20 to 30,000 crore. So that would directly help the real estate business. And many other measures have been announced that they could repay the loan later, so around 6 months. I mean, it has been like moratorium has been increased by 6 months or so. They have to pay the loan, the infrastructure real estate firms, the builders, etc. But it would be, they would get a relief of, or you can say a delay of 6 months, and they could pay later on. So this is a big benefit. Plus there will be an infusion of around 20 to 30,000 crore into the real estate sector, and that would help them probably tide over these difficult times and probably pay salaries, etc. So this is also pretty good. Make in India should propel manufacturing sector. So manufacturing companies would do well. That is automotive, bearings, you can say logistic companies, automobiles, etc. These companies will do well, but be very careful while buying into them, because many of these stocks would have run up a lot and may see some selling if the markets fall. So don't just buy on these news. Look at the fundamentals of the company, look at the chart patterns, etc., and then get into such companies. So companies which may benefit, I have just explained, but be very careful in investing into them. You could see maybe selling after the news has come out, or maybe some of these stocks would have run up a lot and the numbers might not be great for the June quarter, so the selling would come in. So this is not a short idea of making money, they just get into some electronic companies or diagnostic companies now. For instance, Kilpest has already run up from 53 to around 170, 180. So yes, it could go up to 250, 300, it could come down to 120, 130. So be very careful in buying into all these stocks at this point of time. Now, I would just like to take your time in order to make you understand what I feel of this economic package and what lies ahead. So, the current economy and what about the Nifty and this package? Let's get things all together and let's understand this. So, some of the surveys are talking about it on Economic Times, etc., on other websites, that around about 12 crore people would have lost jobs during these times. I mean, between February till this May end, probably, if you take that into account. 12 crore jobs would have been lost. The demand contraction in some of the sectors is unprecedented. For example, in automobiles, which was already in deep trouble, has now gone into abysmality. 0% sales from Maruti in a month, and many probably numbers that were never thought of are being seen in the automobile industry. The textile industry is completely gone out of shape, so that has to be taken into consideration, because textile mills require people to work probably close by, and maintaining social distancing is extremely difficult in such mills, and so it is completely shut down. And India is one of the larger textile manufacturers and exporters, even though now Indonesia and other countries, Bangladesh, etc., have taken over, yet Vietnam as well. But still, India holds a major chunk in the global textile export market. So that has gone for a toss completely. And there are many other, you can say, small micro businesses that are not being able to run well. And I want to take a point on the you can say the microfinance business or the financing lending business. Those companies would also get a benefit. So the companies like Bajaj Finance, etc., might run up after this news, because lending companies may get a hand of help from the government, and those companies really require help, because lending has completely gone out of shape. Banks are not lending, so economy is not running. So I don't know, the government is trying for that, and this is quite encouraging and good of the government to do it. But currently economy is in complete doldrums. So uh, we are in a situation where we could see for FY21 a no growth, a 0% growth, or a negative growth, and that is for the first time in 30 years that we'll see that. So coming to no growth, then the EPS, which was around 450, 460 rupees for FY20, might just go below 440, closer to 430. Taking that into account, 9300 is an extremely high level to look at. It is something which is extremely steep. So if we come out with something like 430 rupees EPS, then we could be staring at trading at something like what, 8600 would be 20 times, and this would be 22 times, nearly 22 times, even at 93, 9400. So clearly we could be looking at a good 10-12% downside from here minimum. So that the you can say the PE comes to a reasonable level. It would be closer to 20 or less than that. So that would help. So something like 19 would be the PE at around 8100. So that is why I'm saying market is overpriced at 9300. I do not see the Nifty companies make it to even 440, 450 rupees by FY21. And many projections are that we could see a growth of 12%, 6%, 8%. I don't see this coming. Also, you need to understand that a lot of packages were announced before, although people might not like it, companies might not like it, but they were announced, and companies might think that more was needed to be done. Perhaps right, but whatever ammunitions government has, they are trying to shoot that up. So probably all the guns have been shot at by the government, and we are looking at a scenario that this big economic package is gone. So, what is here to stay? Probably more bad news to come. The cases are rising. There are other things that are happening. Lockdown has still not gone away, and people are still at home and working from home. Some of the industries are doing fine, like the IT industry or technology, etc. Something which is driven by technology, media, television, but many industries are suffering big time even now. So recovery in economy hold the key basically. So I believe we could see prolonged effect over the next 6 months. I'm pretty certain that the September quarter, not even the June quarter, but the September and the December quarter could be hurt. Probably by end of September, early October, people will feel better to move around, and things could get better if testing really goes on if the government goes on a testing spree, which they are trying to do. So more than 1 lakh test is commendable by the government that is taking place. But things have to improve in places like Maharashtra, Gujarat, New Delhi, for things to move on, because these are big states, and these states have to take the burden of the Indian economy to go forward. So if these things do not, you can say, get better, we could be in complete chaos by FY21. That's my opinion. So even if this package has come in, even if other packages come in, we need to control this thing, and then only we could hope to really grow fast, and probably uh, capture the lost moment that has already taken place in the last 3 4 months. Government is doing its best, that's what I'm saying, but is it positive for the market? So let's understand. So we could head towards 8100 in the next few weeks. That's my assessment. So people were asking me what is my opinion with the economic package and all. Are we going ahead? There's no chance we are going past 10,000. 9600 on Wednesday was an interesting level. So we went to 9600 on open, and then we fell and we fell and we fell more, and we ended up below 9400. And I think this is a clear signal of a breakdown, and I am seeing the market go below 9000 very quickly. That is my personal opinion. You can take your own decision and analyze the charts by yourself. So if the markets rise, I would lighten up my position. I have sold some shares of one of the stocks, and probably sell some more of others. So I'll let you know what I'm doing once everything is done. But I don't see this market going up now after the packages have been announced, and probably two three more announcements would come in. But 9600, 9700 looks tough to it's a tough resistance, those levels. But remember, best stocks will always do well. So there are always stocks making new highs, there are always stocks making all-time highs, etc. And these consumption stocks, whether it is in large cap, mid cap, or small cap, should do well, or should keep you in good stead if you keep them for say more than 4 5 6 years. So do not think of the next 6 months, 1 year. Think of the next 5 6 years. Buy best companies and you would be fine. But this all analysis and my point of view is for those who want to buy immediately, who want to get in, those who have got in on Wednesday and are in deep trouble now, considering that the market fell 300 points. So those need to just calm their nerves, wait for major declines, and then get into the markets rather than buying on a buying spree day. So as I mentioned, best stocks will always do well. So buy into large cap, you can say FMCG products, paint company, one large cap company that I really like, Asian Paints. But have a good 4 5 year time frame. So you can buy into even mid cap companies which are into pure consumption, food companies, etc. But have a good 4 5 year time frame, and do not look to make money in the next 1 year or so. Trading is a different thing altogether, but just for investments, I would say that you buy good quality debt free businesses which are pledge free, and just stay calm and buy on major declines. In my opinion, my final take on this matter remains that a decent effort by the government, markets may take it differently. So what I believe is that government has done the right thing, and this was what the need of the hour was, and probably more things need to be done. uh, uh, and I expect the government to do it in the next few months, and people are in need for some kind of relief here and there. But markets are different breed altogether, because we have seen that during a lockdown period the market went up from 7500 the day the lockdown was announced till 9900 when it seems the lockdown is going to be removed and trains will run, etc. So this is what happens when you buy on rumor, sell on news, kind of things happen. So I believe that we could see the effect that we had feared of this lockdown and everything else in the next 6 months, with the numbers expected to be really bad in the June quarter, and probably some of the trepidation will go into the September quarter onwards. So the next 3 4 months till at least end of August, I see markets only either being range bound or going down continuously month on month. So May, June, July, and August, next 4 months, we could see 2 3%, 3 4% downside. So the market could go down something like 14 15% from here. That is my understanding, my assessment. Anything else could happen, markets could go up 15%, but my assessment says that market beyond 10,000 is virtually impossible. It will be very difficult for market to cross 10,000, and I see a good 14 1500 point decline in the market in the next few months. So 8,000 could be breached sometime for a day or two. That could definitely happen in the next 3 to 4 months. So a vaccine coming out in the next 3 4 months would definitely help the market go beyond 10,000, probably closer to 11,000. But if that doesn't happen, it looks difficult, then we are headed towards 8,000, 8,100 levels. So rallies could be used to lighten positions if you are stuck in some companies which are giving you heavy losses and which are in debt. Some power companies might do well, because the power sector has also got some reform and some of the money would go into the power sector. So power, infrastructure, real estate, financing, as well as companies in automobile, automotives, manufacturing, so electronics, all these companies will get something out of this package for sure. And these stocks may run up. So if you're stuck in these kind of stocks, my understanding is that you could think of selling few shares or exiting those positions, or if you have bought it at lower levels, probably book profits, because I do not see market go beyond 10,000. That's the biggest thing. So this was my video on the current economic package. I hope you would have liked it. Please like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Thanks a lot for watching.